Hi everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. So I'm here today with the second of the Crazy Craft Challenge hosted by Luise Heinzl and Pam at the Paper Outpost. I will link both of their channels down below in the description box. So today we are using our hands as paintbrushes. We are essentially finger painting. So I have to say I'm happy not to be blindfolded, especially for this. I'm going to keep it very simple today. So I've also been this week doing a lot of studio sorting out and cleaning up and trying to think about what I have excess of. So I found this. It's like literally a dollar store acrylic paint set. So very inexpensive. I've never used it. I don't know how good or bad it's going to be, but I figured this is a good opportunity to make use of it because this isn't something that's like overly super, important or special, but maybe we'll make it that way. So just get this open and set these here. So what I'm going to use as my my canvas basically is, these are very old book pages from a book, and they have like a cottony type feel to them. So I think I'm going to just go ahead and use those. And then I think, I know that Luise and Pam, I think will be using like digitals, but I'm going to use actually some things that I fussy cut out of a children's book a long time ago as my focal point. I wanted to try to find a few things. So she's kind of neat. Maybe she will be something. This is a tree. I have this beautiful girl in this bed. It's too big for this project. I just love the curtains and the bedding. I don't know what I'm going to end up doing with that, but so we have this window that could give me an idea. We have a lady brushing her hair, a girl churning butter. Sometimes I cut these things out having no clue how I will ever use them, but they're just really fun. They're some of them are Kate Greenaway images. So they're great vintage children's book images. I think I'll go with the four that I've chosen maybe. And just oops, put that in my word box. Okay. Yeah, because some of these are a little specific. Oh, she's so cute. Grandma just knitting a sock. Very sweet. Maybe we'll leave Grandma here. Okay. What else? Anything else that's really, really neat? Little too little. Oh, we have a little bit of words here. Okay. So, let's go with what I've got here. Put this away and get it out of the way. Okay, so I'm a little scared, but I think what I'm going to do is maybe just use these as sort of the inspiration for what I might do here. I don't know if I'll end up using that tree or not. I think I'll use this. So, I think we can just work with the colors for this one that are in this existing piece right here. So we're going to be looking at a bit of 2 greens, I think, and some yellows, and maybe a bit of this burnt sienna kind of ochre color. So let's just what I'm thinking about is kind of like pointillism, and then maybe adding this on top and then adding some words, snippets to make kind of a nice verse of a card. So I will open each of these. They've got those little pokey tops. There we go. I'm just going to put a little of each paint on my plate here, I think. At this point, I've only seen Pam's video. I haven't seen Luise's video yet, so I'm looking so forward to that today. Planning to just have kind of a cozy day. I might go outside. and do some venturing about cautiously because it's so cold. I went yesterday, it was very cold too, but I went outside with my daughter and we did some tobogganing, and for a 5-year-old, she was very brave and like wanted to fly down these big giant hills. I started on this little hill with her, and then she was like, Mom, come on. And so yeah, I got to relive my childhood. I've got to tell you, tobogganing as an adult when you don't do it all the time is a lot more scary than when you do it when you're a kid, because the hill we went to is actually huge, enormous. It's like a mountain. So yeah. Luckily I survived to hang out with you today. Okay, let's just start getting mucky. I want to get a little bit of this green and blue and mix it together with a little bit of white, because I'm a huge fan of turquoise and teal, and I would like to kind of start with that. I feel like a color I love will get me off on the right path to doing this. So again, I think I'm just going to try to go a little like pointillistic here. And I don't want to get too excessive with the paint, hopefully. I don't know. I may end up doing so anyhow. I probably should put like a piece of scrap paper under me so I don't end up painting this entire table. Just gonna grab that from over here. Okay. I'm liking these greens. Put a little yellow in here. I think with green you can never go wrong. I may make a little bit of pink and just kind of create some florals here. Just going to put little bits of brown here and there to kind of amp up the idea of it being like foliage-ish. Maybe a little bit more blue up here, because I always think things look nice as they transcend from being like sky to ground. So we'll sort of make hints of that in the background. Okay, so I think this for now, I'm gonna let it be. Maybe actually I'm gonna add a little yellow down here. Yeah. Okay. And then I want to leave a little bit of the book page in the background. And what I'm also going to do is just grab my glue stick here. And I will glue this down so that I don't lose it, or it doesn't like fall and go somewhere I don't want it to be. Making sure that these fingers aren't covered in paint before I stick this down. And then I can kind of go around it a little more to just frame it in. Okay, so there's number 1 for now. I'm going to come back to it. It's not finished. And let's move on to number 2, where I'm going to maybe use this very regal lady. But like she looks like she's carrying kind of like a horse whip or something, and I'm not really into that. She's a little too scary right now. Let's make her a little more friendly by just cutting off that whole situation. Okay. I'll do a little bit of fussy cutting, not a ton. Almost there. Okay. I'm actually going to remove her entire back hand. There we go. Now, I kind of like that this chapter was called One Touch of Nature. So I think that's what I'm going to turn this theme into, not of her going to whatever horse race situation, but we're going to turn this into a nature scene. So I'm going to do the same kind of speckly in the background here on one side. And I'm going to kind of use my brown at the bottom. This is going to be more like a shrub or something. And then I'm going to create like some more green. And we're not going to cover all the book page this time. We're going to leave a good amount. So this is just kind of creating a little bit of like a nature scene. So that's that. And then I think in the background I want to use some more of this blue that she is wearing, or like a similar kind of sapphire type blue. We'll see what we can create with these blues that I have in this limited little palette. But actually it's not that limited. It's quite good. All right, that's good. Now I'm just going to pick her up and do like a bit of a nice swirl over here. Make it a little darker around the edge. Okay. Yeah. Then I'm going to get a little bit more of my blue, plunk it down there. I'm just going to wipe my fingers off on this other page. And then I want to just make like a background down here with just this light blue. Need more light blue. And some white. Okay. All right, now I need to make some pink. So let's get the red. Oops, I haven't opened that yet. This is, ooh, that's vermilion. That's going to be a little hard, but it's okay. We got this. It's going to need a good amount of white. Let's see how much we can make this into a pink. We'll add a little bit of blue. Oh, it's so orangey. Yeah, we're going to need like a ton of white, I think, to create the color-ish that I'm looking for. We'll see. That vermilion is going to eat a lot of paint. White paint. A little more blue. Getting to a salmony tone. Maybe a little more blue. Now we're getting a little mauve. Okay, that's getting a little closer to what I want. What do we need? What do we need? A little more of the light blue, maybe? What does this do over here? If I mix this, let's just get a concept. It's going a little more gray than it is purple, but we'll see. I gotta bring this closer. Yeah, we're still purple. It's more than one way to learn color theory. Okay, a little more over here. All right, that's getting closer to what I'm looking for now. All right, I'm comfortable with that color. Okay, so first thing I want to do is kind of create a few things that can be like flowers here. And we're going to go over this a little bit with, we're going to finish this with something a little more than just fingers. And then the other thing I wanted to do is just kind of go around this blue here. Just to kind of give a little pink. Okay. Let's wipe our fingers off here. Okay. Let's just make sure all this paint is off my fingers before I pick up the fussy cut bit and try laying it down. Hopefully it is. Okay, so that's where I want to go with that, and then I'm going to go over it with marker to kind of finish it. So first let me glue this on. Move this painty page out of the way. Oh, and I totally lost that title I was going to save. The things that you do when you're like concentrating on doing something else. Concentrating on finger painting, not paying attention to the title. So, but that's okay, because those words, one touch of nature, it kind of gave us a way to create a narrative with this piece. So I'm okay that I lost it, because it still gave me what I was looking for, which was an idea to go with here. So I'll just cut the bottom off this. Okay, so I'm going to call this for now finished. It's not completely finished. And I think we'll do one more. Just get rid of this painty page. Turn this sideways here. Okay, so we'll start with a fresh canvas. Then I have a few options that I've got here. I've got a tree. I've got her. It's this little girl sitting on a bench with a bird cage. And then we have a grandmother just knitting. I think I might use the grandmother because she might kind of go with a project that I'm working on. So we'll set the others aside here. Now I'm going to use first this color we created, this mauve color here. I'm going to see if I can make a little more of that. And maybe even purple it up a bit to a blue. And then I'm just going to smoosh it down. Grab some of the blue. And maybe I'll grab some of the brown. We'll just create like a color palette that, you know, goes somewhat with the picture we're going to use. Just going to blend. Kind of blend this a little in on the book page. I'm happy to be using book page because actually it's quite paint absorbent, so I'm not going to make such a mess with this, hopefully. And it actually takes this paint quite nicely. Kind of allows the colors to kind of stay themselves a bit instead of all merging together. Okay, so now we have like a pretty dramatic background. And then we'll get Grandma here and we'll see. Whoops. What do we want to do with Grandma? Might just pop her here. And then I have some of these like little scrappy bits that I might add on this. So I think like for now, I think I'm done with the paint concept of this. And now I'm on to the finishing. The other thing that I was going to talk about, actually, you know, I won't be finished yet with the painting. I wanted to show you one more thing that I thought would be kind of fun. So let's just get Grandma on here and get her out of the way and let her dry. So it was more about just, you know, being a little bit free-spirited, and maybe we'll use blue. And essentially just spread it around a little bit, and then, you know, put your hand in paint. Just honestly your whole hand. Let's just do the whole entire hand, okay? So now take a look at the shape of your hand before it dries. Does anything jump out to you shape-wise? What if we make a few prints here and there of our hand and different parts of our hand, and we see what we can use those for? Okay, so this is definitely the part where I'm like, I need to clean up. So I'll be right back. I'm going to clean up, and then we're going to think about this a little more too. Okay, mostly cleaned up. So I think the other ones are going to take a little bit longer to dry. So let's play with this experiment that I just did with my hands. So I'm going to grab a couple more pieces of this book page paper. Okay, there's 1 and 2. Okay. So I think I'll use that as just the background for what I'm going to create here. So what I'm looking at are just, you know, bits of my hand, and I'm looking almost like you would look at the clouds in the sky to find an image. So when I look at this, sort of like the, you know, the back part of my hand, I feel like I see the body specifically of an animal kind of sitting up like a rabbit. And then when I look at this, I see sort of like another body, maybe some feathers or a tail here. So what I've done is I've just grabbed a couple of things. So I have this duck head that I fussy cut out. I've been making paper dolls with these. And I sort of see it living kind of like right here. Then I have this vintage Peter Cottontail image from a Thornton Burgess children's book that's torn, and I think I may just take the head and potentially the tail and some of this foliage and create a picture with these. So I'll start with the rabbit. So let's just, and then we'll see what else we can make use of here. So the first thing I'll do is I'll just trim around this painty portion of my hand. So I'll just trim around here. Okay, then where is my ink? Because we need to distress this a bit, or it's going to be a little too bright, I think. So I'll just, and the texture of my hand, it's really kind of cool there. It's very nice. So let's lay that down as though we're going to collage with it. Now, and throw this part away. Get this out of the way. Set it over here. Okay. So then I'm just going to go in here and just cut this out. Such brittle little paper. So I'll put this here, I think. Then I'll take the tail as well. It's going this way. I'm trying to kind of keep the foliage because I think I'm going to use it in the background of this collage. So now we have a tail. And then I'll take a look at the other things that I have here because I'm thinking about these fingertips. Could they be used to kind of represent the feet of the rabbit. It's kind of like this. And maybe we can also create a paw, the upper paw. Okay, maybe we'll just put a second little foot in here. Another little paw like this. Okay, so I'm going to start to do a little bit of gluing down, I think. It'll just make things a bit easier. So just kind of put a little glue here so I can get the angle of his head the way that I want it. Then this one little paw, plunk it back here. One foot, and the 2 feet, and we'll kind of put that one on top so it's a little more dimensional. Then the tail here. So I'm just going to lift this up and decide where on this page I may want to position it. I think kind of in the middle would be good. So let's just glue this down and we'll see how we can add to it and make it interesting. So I do think he needs another paw represented. Which I could actually do using his paw from in here. Kind of like the idea of combining like the book page with my own marks. It's pretty fun. Okay, so we'll give him this. We'll let it angle out a bit so it gives his body a little more dimension. Okay, and then I'm just going to take a look because his feet are kind of little compared to what they are in the picture. Would this look neat to have like his feet actually just kind of coming off of these little legs that I created? No, that looks weird. Nope, nope, nope. Okay. We're gonna represent that in a different way. Okay, so now I'm gonna grab some of this really beautiful foliage here from the book. I'm gonna leave a little of that brown vintage book page color. Let's kind of a little more of this in here. I think this needs to actually go under the bunny, which I shouldn't have used art glitter glue because it makes everything stick down forever. What to do? Well, you know what? I could cut him out again. Hold on. Looking for another one of those A Touch of Nature pages, but I don't think I have any more of them. Okay, let's use this one, and I will just cut out one Touch of Nature and we'll use it. So let's just cut him out and we'll leave a little of the original book page around him. And that will give us even another layer. Okay. And then if I want to, I can actually peel this back off because I've got 2 pages together and that will make it as thick. So there we go. Now I can now kind of go back to collaging again. Yeah, okay. I think I like that. So let's just get rid of these scraps and then start to glue everything down here. Just going to kind of try to leave everything relatively in place, if possible. This is old book page, so you just have to be a little bit careful. Okay. Like that. Okay. Now we can just make sure everything's well glued. Okay, and then we can glue down our bunny. Oh, there's 2 of them there. All right, that's cool. Okay. All right, so now we can tear off the excess edge here, I think. Actually, I'll do it this way so it's a little easier. I want like a freeform shape. I don't want like a super perfect. Now I'm going to ink around a little bit. Don't need too much though, because this is actually a very old book page. Just ink around the bunny. And just actually ink a little on top of my handprint to just still keep the blue, but like add some brown to it. So it kind of becomes a little more aesthetically the same. Then I'm going to come in with a little Sharpie, and just kind of like extend his whiskers a little more, because whiskers always end up getting cut off. We'll give him those. We'll give him maybe a little bit of eyelashes for fun. Little eyelashes. And then, you know, we'll try to, I think that this, I need to just trim a little bit off to make this more like actually paw shaped. So let's just pull that off. There we go. Okay, and then we'll do a little bit of this. And I'll do the same with the feet, because that's just, he looks like he has a bit of a balloon shoe on, and I'm not into that a whole lot. Maybe we could just actually tear it up a little and shape it a little more like a paw. That one's a little better. And this one as well. That second one, I don't know how I'm going to, maybe like this. This is a little tricky, I'm not gonna lie. Trying to get the right shapes here. Okay, I think I know what I want to do. Like this and like this. There we are. All right. Let's get all the paper core. And then plink a little glue because we've been messing with these paws. We don't want them to pull up. Okay. There we go. And then we can go in and do a few more details. So add, oops, my Sharpie is grumpy at me now. There we go. A few more little details on the feet. And then, you know, this is where you can kind of like do something a little personal if you want to, you know, create like a furry belly. I think I'll do that a little bit, maybe just like a belly. You could do buttons, you know, make him more Peter Rabbit-y. But I think that's really what I want to do, is just kind of give him a little bit of a belly there. And I think I'm happy with this one. Yep. Okay. One down. A million to go. Okay, not too many more to go. Well, only another one of this nature. And now where did I put that duck head? Duck head, where did you go? Oh, there it is. Okay, so this one I'm just going to be a little more simplistic, I think. I'm going to actually just glue it down right away so I can get it in the right spot. Because this is going to be a part of the duck's body, like the hand in this case. So I'm not really going to be collaging underneath it, because it would actually sort of separate the head from the body if I did that. So I'm going to go right here, like this. Then I think I want to just tear this. And then only tear to about there, and then kind of jaggedy cut. I'll come up here, and we'll just cut around the beak. Okay, and then we'll just tear again. Then see if we can't make use of these fingers. Okay, we got one more here, maybe two more. Get the sharp edges off. Okay, so now let's take a look. I'll get a piece of paper to lay down here. A sea of troubles. So we have this duck. Maybe I'll do that one this way. Or hold on, even better. Can I rip that open? No, I can't. Let me grab a different one that I can actually open. I glued these pages together, but I'm thinking it'd be good to use two of them that are both that have text. Here we go. Okay. Put the lid on the Sharpie. Put the lid on the glue. All right. So I think I'm going to try to build this duck's body. I need to cut this excess off here as well. There we go. And these will be the feathers for the back end of the body, like that, I think. And this duck will just be in water here. So let's glue this down. Oops, I just tried to glue with the opposite end of the glue stick. The pressure is real. Okay, there we go. So curious to see what Luise is going to do today. I'm excited to see her video when I'm done this. Okay. There we go. Now, I'm going to do a bit of inking. Again, I think that'll just kind of bring this together. So we'll just, think about the colors of a duck. They are brown and they are tealy blue colors. And depending on what kind of ducks you have, we have mallards and even though this is not a mallard's duck head, but we're not that precise here. So then I think I'll go back to the original kind of plan here and add a bit of blue to create a bit of water underneath my duck. And just kind of ground them a little in some water. I'm going to come in with some white and tone that all down because that's pretty intense. And I think I may come in with a bit of blue back here too. I definitely need to get rid of the title of this because it's like a weird book title. So just bear with me while I create a background here. So we're just going to put a bit more blue. Okay. And then maybe what I will do is I'll finish up the water here. Get some of that blue off. We'll add white over the water. That will tame it down considerably. Okay. And then I think in the background here, maybe this is a duck kind of swimming about like in a fall kind of, a wetland in the fall. So we'll bring a bit of that element to it. I gotta glue his beak down a bit, but it's okay. Just a bit of this. And then I need to open the orange. I'm actually making my way through this whole palette, oddly. I thought I would actually be limiting my colors a little. And I've actually stopped using the palette to mix altogether now. I'm just going in with the color. Okay. The lid back on here, and then we'll grab a bit of red, this crazy vermilion color, maybe a little yellow. Kind of give all those colors of fall. And maybe a few green leaves that haven't said goodbye to us yet. The hopeful ones that don't want to completely go away. Maybe we'll use a little down here to be like some brush off to the side here. Okay. And then I would just take a little bit of black. Just a tiny little bit. Actually wipe some off, and I'm going to go in with a little black up here because black is another kind of important color in fall. There's black bits in the leaves, and yeah. And then we'll throw a little bit of black in the brown where the foliage and the tree trunks might be. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna call that done. I will probably like back that on something and then decide like how I want to use it. I think it'd be fun as like a center signature in a journal. That would be kind of fun in a nature journal. Okay, so there's that one. Let me just set this aside and clean my hands, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm all cleaned up, and I have set aside the hand smooshing ephemera, and I'm going to go back to the 3 original journal cards that I was working on. So this one, the green paint has dried, and we have this window here, and with this one I wanted to add a verse that I make out of word snippets. So I've got my word snippets, and they are I'll just glue each one on and then I will show them to you. The first one is pretending. Came upon a tiny cottage, which I think goes with this pretty window. Good fortune followed. Open sesame. More beautiful every day. Okay, so let's get the glue down here on these. Then I think I will just kind of add a little ink over them just to kind of tone that white a little bit. Okay, and then the other thing that I want to do with these is go to my Sharpie again and then just kind of do like a bit of a messy outline around each set of words to just give it a little bit of definition. I think I'm going to need to get a new Sharpie soon. This one is saying goodnight. Do I have another Sharpie here? No, I don't. Hold on. So I could not find another black Sharpie right now without doing a bunch of studio excavation, but I have a brown one that also doesn't really love me very much. And I've just kind of gone around the edges here. And I'm also thinking, before I back this, of maybe actually stitching right around so that I can bring those out. So that one I'm going to say I'm good with. I'll show it to you when it's finished and I've done the stitching. But let's move on to the next one. So this one, I think I have some ephemera that I'm working on that is stitching related, and I feel like this would be a nice fit for that. But what I want to do, I think, is I just want to add some elements of like fabric and kind of like book spine waist and that kind of thing. So I'm just going to I've torn out this bit of fabric here, and I just want to kind of add some little scrappity kind of things to this. Like I've got the fabric, I've got this book spine, got a little bit of birch bark, but I don't think that fits with what I'm trying to, maybe this book spine. There we go. Yeah, so that I think I have one more piece that would work nice right here. Yeah, so we're going to fill that one up with book spine and a bit of fabric. And then I'll do some stitching on it as well. Go. Okay. Put this one down. Then I'll just put a bit of glue stick on the back of the fabric because I'm actually going to stitch right through that. So I won't back this one yet because I'm going to be doing some more stitching on it. So we'll call that for now finished, and then I'll come back and show you the final, what the final product looks like when it's all backed and stitched. Okay. Then the last one, which is the one that took the longest to dry, and hopefully it's dry now, I was going to use Sharpie to finish it, but as you know, my Sharpies are just sad today, so I have to probably find a new packet of Sharpies, as well as the pin that goes in my glue, because that has migrated somewhere. Here we go. Okay, that goes in there. Okay, now let's do this one. So I was just going to use a Sharpie marker to kind of draw like the innards of these flowers. But then I thought, you know, if the Sharpie won't cooperate, I will use a Posca pen, and that'll actually also give me the option to just use red instead of black fine marker. So I think what I want to do is just kind of come in and do like these little like rose type swirls, and I may add some black as well, but I just want to add a bit of this red because I think it's nice. So we can just come in and kind of just do little bits of freeform outlining, create like petal shapes, rose petals. There we go. And then actually, instead of black, I might use white to just do a little bit more of the same. Okay. Then the other thing that I think I might do, just because I have the Posca pens out, is I'd like to do kind of a yellow, sort of like a yellow outline here on top of the blue. Sorry if I have a little hitch there. I had to change my camera battery. So I was just doing a little bit of yellow dotting here, like a bit of a outline around her head and these yellow dots. I think it will kind of bring together the color of the dress and just that kind of regal look about her. Then I might come in just with a bit of black in these flowers, even though I thought I wouldn't. I do kind of feel like the outline just needs it a little more than just with the white. The white's not as bright as I'd want it to be. There we go. And then the other thing is, from when I first started this, the book page at the top had said a touch of nature, and that's what kind of got me going on how the theme of the painting with my fingers went. But then I ended up and I painted right over it. So the good thing is I had been gluing these pages together, so I can actually just replace it with one from one of the book pages that I pulled apart, and we'll stick that back up there. I kind of like how it looked. Let's get rid of the excess glue here, and then we will ink it a little bit to just have it kind of blend in a little more. Okay, so I think that one just needs to get stitched around like everything else. So let me just finish all of this up, and then I'll come back to you and show you everything that we made. So I have finished all the stitching that I want to do. So we saw this one mostly done. So again, this is the side of my hand and my fingerprints that I made some of the bunny body from, and then did some collaging. So that's all stitched around and ready to go. This one I'm so happy with. This one I just kind of blended my leftover paint and made this lovely colorful, browns and blues and pinks that kind of all blend nicely together on this book page. And I added this little grandma here who's like, she's stitching a sock, she's knitting, and then I added some book spine scraps and fabric and just zigzag stitched on all of them, and then just backed it, and it's going to go into my sewing journal ephemera. This one, I was inspired by One Touch of Nature, which was the header of this book page, and so I just did a bit of foliage. I just painted all of this with my fingers in the background to kind of go along with my focal point, and then came in with a Posca pen to just play a little with the roses and the yellow dots. This one is going to actually go into a journal I'm working on right now. So I did end up going with stitching around here because my Sharpie wasn't cooperating. So this is the first one that I started. I used this focal point from a book page. Just decided to do a little pointillist kind of tapping with fingers in greens and browns and blues, and used some word snippets, pretending, came upon a tiny cottage, good fortune followed, open sesame, more beautiful every day. And then this final one, we ended up making a signature here. So this is the rest of my hand, this side of my hand, and I use that as the body of this duck, and then some fingers to make his tail feathers, and then just did a little bit of, more finger painting around to kind of create like a fall feeling background on book page. And then I just stitched it on some packaging paper, and I think that would be really fun on the center of a nature journal, and it's nice and kind of crinkly. So that is my video for today. Thank you for joining me for the second of 3 of the Crazy Craft Challenge, hosted by Pam and Luise. That's Pam at the Paper Outpost and Luise of Junk Journal Art. They are linked below in the description box. I'll pop some pictures up on Instagram showing you these final cards, and you can follow me there as Studioloo. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, I would love it if you did, and thank you so much. Our next Crazy Craft Challenge is this upcoming Saturday, and that will conclude this series. Thank you so much, and bye for now.